Hello everybody, this is Havoc and welcome to Manor Lords. The demo is finally here. I was able to get early access thanks to Hooded Horse. And today we're going to play just a little tiny slice of the demo, probably about 30 minutes worth, just so you can get an idea on what the game is like. So first and foremost, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I do hope you appreciate it. Like I said, this is going to be just a small slice. I will be streaming significantly longer on Twitch today on Monday, so you can head over there. A link to my channel should be down in the description below, and let's go ahead and jump right on into it. Of course, we only have one option, which is Rise to Prosperity. This is very much a peaceful run for the Next Fest demo, so that's the only thing we can do. And then we have something that's really cool. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because, well, I don't want you to get bored and move away. But we're going to go with this guy because I feel like that fits me very well. Old grizzled man, weary, tired look in his eyes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to custom make everything over here. You have a huge selection of things that you can do to customize this, which is absolutely fantastic. I'll let you explore it when the demo comes out to the public for everyone. But as for me, I'm going to take some time. I'll cut through this, and you'll see my final product here in just a minute. All right, we are back, and I thought of no better way to make my family coat of arms than by representing my 3 children. The top right is my eldest daughter. She is a lion, without a doubt. She is loud, she is very proud of herself, and very sure, very much a lion. In the middle, we have my son, who is our middle child, and that dude has energy like nothing I've ever seen before. Always running around doing things. So I thought, I do believe that is, I can't remember what the 3 legs are. I do believe it has an actual relevance inside our own real world, but I thought it more than relevant for him. And then last but not least, my firecracker of a youngest daughter. This is the closest thing that I could think to represent her energy and her spunk and her chaos. It looks like a sun. I thought that was pretty appropriate. So this is the coat of arms for this short little playthrough. There is a way to update your own custom thing. I'm still trying to figure that out. But regardless, this is what we're going to roll with. Let's go ahead and continue. We do have starting supplies approval and weather events. We're going to keep this all standard and balanced for kicks and giggles. And welcome to Manor Lords. We have a new message. There's a fire at the heart of every settlement, a bastion of safety, warmth, and light against the darkness of the world. On this cold spring morning, your men blow on their fingertips, their breath clouding in the air, but there's plenty of work to warn them. As the toil begins, you can almost imagine you hear the ring of anvils, the tolling of bells, the cries of the marketplace, all possibilities. In the distance, fog lingers in the hollows of the land. The world is quiet, watchful, waiting for you to choose which one of those to make real. So we have 4 things we need to make within a year: a granary, a logging camp, a forage hut, and a storehouse. And it is a pretty simple thing to accomplish overall. For now, let's, do we really want to, let's see. Let's not worry about that. Let's just worry about drawing some roads. They don't have to be anything fancy. I will connect them to the main area though. You know what? Let's just go ahead and draw through. There we go. There's our first main roads. I actually don't really like the angle on that one. So we are going to remove it. And I'll explain more in depth whenever we go and play ourselves on Twitch and we have a little bit more time to explore. But essentially, let's see, a forager hut it is. So we need to get moving on the things we need to build. Now, what we want to make sure is that we don't harvest our wood from this area. And the reason being, there are berries, there is stuff here. And if we harvest everything over here, the berries will most likely go away. So it makes sense to kind of start elsewhere. And in fact, we do have actually surrounded by some pretty good game as well. Goodness gracious, we may invest into that. Let's see, you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. Nope, we're going to switch things up because this is a demo playthrough. It's not really that important for me to worry about at the moment. There we go. So here is our forage hut. But we're also going to build a logging camp, and I love the animations here. I really enjoy just how simple even just that small little movement's gonna be really cool. So what's gonna happen is that someone's gonna take our only ox and they're gonna drag the wood over to the places that I have placed down, and that will start the construction process. Now, just for me, just because I enjoy making things a little more easily accessible, we're gonna build some things right here for now. And then those guys are gonna get going. Now you'll see here we have 5 unassigned families. Now right now this actually just means men, because it's only the men that are working as far as I know correctly. So they're gonna all get to work. We don't have anyone to assign to a job per se. Any idle villagers will simply work their way into doing whatever needs done. And we can speed things up a little bit. I think for this first part, we can really work on it. I'm gonna build a hunting camp next to the forager, and then we're gonna go ahead and get other things scheduled. Let's grab, where is it? Storage, here it is. So we're gonna place our granary right next to where, well, let's go here. It'll be a little bit in the middle of town. And storage will be right across from it as well. There we go. All right, so you can see they're almost finished with the forager hut already. Perfect. Now we are going to assign one person to it. Well, it's spring, so let's go ahead and go there. And if you'll hover over this, by the way, in the bottom right corner, you'll see that spring is when berry deposits regrow. And they actually essentially vanish in the winter. So there's a little bit of microing in that once you hit winter for your first time, you'll need to remove these followers, these workers, and put them somewhere else for the winter. We're gonna go ahead and make a traditional cross path. There we go. Okay, everything has finally built. I thought I would skip that animation. We have assigned some families to gather some food. We can see we have plenty of food and fuel for a plenty amount of time. Your supplies are dry and secure. The first stage of the work is done. Well, not quite, and I'll explain. The stories your people tell around the fire are of many dangers in the world, from beasts to blights, strange tales about foxes who go on pilgrimage, or small creatures who spin gold from sunset to sunrise. They tell these stories to put common names to their fears. Soon, they'll teach these stories to their own children. It's time to bring wives and children to the settlement. Now they can take shelter in proper homes. For your lands to prosper, you'll need not only workers, but families. Wells and burgage plots. That's our next objective. And this is where it is really cool. Now I will mention, for the granary to operate correctly, you do need to add a worker to it. The same goes for the storehouse, or else they won't actually bring the supplies into here. So just a heads up there, that is what is going to be required. Now, if you look here, you see we have food for 12 months and fuel or firewood for 18 months. That will change, as you can see. Let's see, if you go to, there's a way to change it, but essentially, that's not it. Essentially, there is a way for you to toggle what way, I think it's this. One of the ways you can toggle will toggle between what is actually available across the board, like families that have taken it in their homes, and also what is right here. So this is total goods, which will be the same for now, but right now this is we're set to surplus. So anything that people take into their homes, for instance, is going to remove, quote unquote, that toggle essentially. So here we go. We're going to build a well right there, super plain and simple. And then we only have 5 timber, which means I can only build 2 burgage plots. Now the burgage plots are really, really cool. You place your borders down. So your first 2 borders are the front side of the houses that you're going to build. And then you drag and you pull like this. Now the plus is very, very important, because without it, you cannot add an additional food producing resource behind it. So if, for instance, these far right houses will not produce any extra plots or any extra resources, but we obviously can't afford that. We can afford 3, which I think would actually be right about here. Yeah, I think that would work. I don't think the size of them actually truly matters. But here we go. And then, like I said, once he uses his Oxman, oh, that's cool, neat little thing. Now, of course, this is an early access demo build. People are going to clip through, things are going to happen. You'll just have to not be fully super immersed, okay? But yeah, we can see he'll start pulling things across. He'll start working the best that he can. And everything will start working appropriately. We have a trader that comes through as well, so that's a cool thing to go ahead and think about, is the fact that whenever we get trade up and rolling, which will probably be more on the Twitch stream side of things, we'll be able to focus on that. I think we have enough food to remove a forager hut. So we have 2 people building over here instead of 1 person, so things will go a bit faster. Now we do need 5. We only have 3 planted, or at least 3 starting on construction. So once the logging camp gets more in, we'll be Roger Dodger ready to rumble. And it's already June, but goodness gracious, look how beautiful this game is. One of the other important things right here, you can visit. A reminder that you can play this demo probably by the time I get this video uploaded. Maybe a little bit later. But this is a quality of life feature that's just really cool. It only does it in single mode, but you can see everything that's going on in your village. It's not super impressive right at the moment, but especially once you get a large population and you get your village really moving and grooving, it's going to be a fantastic feature to roll through. But I mean, just look at the fires. It's just, even the fires alone, it's just such a cool ambiance that I would love to do an ASMR chill vibe kind of deal where I get a village up and running and I either just sit in a spot as a cameraman, or I go into my Lords mode and I start walking around and just showing off the city. Undoubtedly that will probably happen, so look forward to that for sure. And with that, our 5 burgage plots are complete. We are building a 6th because I had the demand for it, and that's fine right there as well. Right, residential_quest. I'm just messing with him. A new message, awesome. As you walk the perimeter surveying your village, with pride a woman walks past you. She's bent nearly double under a sack. You ask how long she's been walking. She tells you it takes her half a day now to get all the food she needs for her family from the hunters and farmers that surround the village. Sounds a bit excessive. If only there was a marketplace where your people could acquire food, clothing, and firewood, they would be happier, have more time for other work. So we need to upgrade our burgage plots to a level 2 food stall, firewood stall, and a clothing stall. We have 1,825 days to accomplish that, so that's quite a ways. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, well, how in the world do we do that? If you click on your burgage plots, you will see the requirements necessary for everyone. So in this case, we need to have, I guess, 2 types of food. We need to have clothing, entertainment, and faith. I do believe none of those have really been met. That's what that signal signifies. Yeah, fuel and water. They need 2 types of food. They need cloth, leather, or yarn, and then entertainment and faith. Now this is what I mean, the extra plots right here. This is an extension. And so for 1 tool, we only have 1 tool, we could get a vegetable garden, which produces vegetables. Or if we waited until we got our trade up and running, we could get a chicken coop and a goat shed. The chicken coop makes eggs throughout the whole year. And then the goat shed makes milk throughout the whole year. So that's pretty daggum important, I would say. Now, of course, once we start generating extra burgage plots outside of the family needs, which is what we're working on right now, you'll start bringing in additional families. So it's something to consider, but it's also important to remember that you're going to need to worry about, I guess worry is a little bit of a doomy word, but you're going to have to start thinking about extra food production. So we'll worry about that in just a minute. We'll put that guy there. And we're on 2 times speed because I think that's important. And then again, we can just kind of explore a little bit while we wait on some things to happen. We're waiting on extra timber, so there's not much else to do. We have granary, storehouses, and hitching posts. But if we look, there's plenty of things that we can do, including replanting forests. So that's a good sustainability. We have a mining pit. Extracts iron ore from iron deposits and clay from clay deposits. We have a stone deposit, which isn't something we can do, but we do have an iron deposit. And it doesn't look like we have a clay deposit within our realm. And in fact, it may not even be in the demo. I'm going to say it's not even. Oh, there's a clay deposit. So if we were able to somehow capture this point, we would be able to get clay accessibility there. Otherwise, stone's our only deal and iron is our only deal. But if we look in the industry area, which we'll go there in just a second, we'll see our options. So for our housing village life, a market area is what we are going to need to establish a market area. I mean, I know that sounds kind of but the same 4 corners concept, and that will allow food stalls, firewood stalls, and a clothing stall to be enacted. And I do believe we can simply, oh no, we can't. I thought we could. Let's go ahead and market square this up. There we go. I don't really enjoy that. There we go. Whoa, hey there. There we go. Now what we might actually have to do is end up removing this road and then just completing it. There we go. But that gives us a really good solid market area. So whenever we have lots of timber, like we do now, we can fulfill that desire. Now we could build it in throughout here. I don't think that mechanic is exactly well fleshed out. And I'll show you what I mean. If I placed it here, it's just gonna kind of find a diagonal segment for you to find stuff. And so that gets a bit messy, right? You can see how that looks a bit weird, but they'll figure it out once they get all things going. And now this is what I mean. Like, it's saying that we don't have a lot of firewood and food, but we do. It's not a terrible amount. And now winter is coming. How doomsy. We can build 4 more plots, and I'm half tempted. That's 5 plots that would work. I don't know that I want 5 super skinny plots, though. That's fine with me. That'll work. And then we can start getting some extra people in and things will be working. And then if we look over in the overlays, anytime you build something, it shows a variety rather of different things to show off fertility. So for instance, this over here would be a really good spot for almost everything, for a majority of our stuff. Something to consider for the future. And as we continue to build, we'll start bringing in more people as well. We're making more fuel, which is great. And we could probably go ahead and add another person to that right now so we can get that built up so that winter isn't so harsh on us. But my word, just look how gorgeous this place is. I think it's worth a walkthrough. We're building houses. We're doing great things. This is one of the coolest features, I think, of any game to be able, especially a strategy game, to just be able to walk through and see your village grow. See the people walking through and around. I think one of the coolest things as well is that when you put your plot down, if it is within any trees, the trees remain. Just adds this really good sense of blending yourself in with nature. It even has a back end so I can go through the back streets. Oh, it's so cool. I love it. We do need to consider bringing on more people to generate food though, because I do fear that we might... Okay, we got a new family. Perfect. We'll go ahead and put them there. And once we get another family, we'll start working on granary and storehouse employees. Perfect. We're going to go with the granary thing so our food doesn't get rotten. I think that's pretty important to go gather the food manually. And winter is now here. Oh, I love it. My word, I do. I really do enjoy this. It's looking good, and of course, if we super fast forward time, we're going to see that snow accumulate. Oh my goodness, it's awesome. So cool. So cool to see. And we should get another family in, which means our storehouse will start being perfect. We're going to start getting the storehouse because you'll see here that we have 10 pelts that are taking up a lot of space. Our pantry's not full. Oh, the food stall is. Okay, well that's good. Yeah, that's really good. And then, like I said, this is a little doomsy, but it's okay. We do have plenty of food to get us through everything. And a reminder that this is, of course, a demo build. This is not representative of the final game. You gotta say it. I have to. So people understand. Perfect. We've got ourselves a decent little village going. 30 total population. Our approval could be better, but we have some homeless people apparently. And now is where we remove our forage hut because it is winter. I forgot to do that quickly. And we're actually going to go for another hunter. We have so much, and in fact, I can also increase the workload or the hunting limit. Because like I said, we have 1, 2, 3 wild animal plots. I call them plots. Essentially spaces to harvest animals. So I don't have a fear of running out whatsoever. That's just saying, hey, we're at our max here. Nothing big. The storehouse is doing its work as it's supposed to. The granary is doing its work as it's supposed to. And now we have 4 extra people. I'm gonna put them on hunting like I said I would do. And then let's get 2 more people, well, 1 more person in the logging camp. And then I can't help it. I just want to look at how everything is going. We've got our first little avenue here. There's our well. But our first main residential block, which I think is just, oh, that's so good. Good morning, ladies. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Good morning. But it just looks fantastic. We're going to fast forward time. Once we start getting, let's see. I think we could probably afford to start working on a farm, or at least start getting one built. So farming is very interesting in that it doesn't, I mean, it works like everything else in Manor Lords, but it is significantly different from what is expected. And it's hard to see in the winter. But I do believe that's a patch of green. That's a good patch of green. Emmer is essentially grain. Of course, flax is required to make clothes, and there's not but a really good patch there. Barley is right there, unfortunately, and rye is just rampant. So we may have to make smaller plots of everything, if that makes sense. Now, if there is crossover, one of the important things is to balance your fertility with this game, and to not super heavily exploit that. So we may have to have a handful, and we can do some crop rotation as well, which is really, really cool. Let's see. We could do a whole bunch of really small plots, I feel. So there's a plot. We have flax. Where is flax good at? We're going to have flax over here. We have barley. Where's barley good? Barley is good right across the street. You know what? Just for kicks and giggles for the demo, we are going to totally just slap a plot there. And then rye. Rye is, of course, good everywhere. So what we might do, right here, we can rotate crops. We're going to do Emir. We're going to fallow. And then the third year, we're going to go flax. Oh, wait. Flax good here? My bad. I don't think we have access to rye. This is where flax is good. So we're going to do that. We're going to rotate. We're going to fallow and do flax again. I don't think we have access to rye at the moment. So we'll keep things relatively simple and spaced out. And this was barley. This is barley. So we're going to do barley. We're going to go fallow, and we're going to do barley. So I think between the three, well, actually, we should do fallow, then barley. Because we do want to rotate. We don't want to overextend our people. And then, of course, we can make a farm, which we'll place kind of in the middle of all three. That's fine with me. There we go. And they'll get to work on that, and of course the more families we have, the more that'll work in our favor. Now what we can also do is wait around just a tiny little bit. We're still working on satisfying everyone's needs for pretty much everything. And we're about to hit our first spring, where we can start seeing the farms really get to work. And I think it's once we get the farms up and running that we may end up stopping. I'm not entirely sure. A reminder that I'm going to be streaming this on Twitch for a significant amount of time that I think will show off the game much, much better. And you can see it's warming up. Everything's melting. The sort of semi-ugly and yet somehow still beautiful phase of when everything is muddy and gross and melting as we hit full spring. Meat is our primary form of food. I would love to start changing that right now. Loads of helping hands. There we go. All right, so we have a total need of 15 workers. We obviously can't do that. We can slap 2 people on there. But we can start building more houses as well. And we can do that in a variety of ways. We can start expanding our road system in a way that makes sense, or that doesn't make sense. So we could go right here, for instance, and I do believe that would give us all plot. Cool. That will work out very, very well. If we could super fast forward time for a second until we hit that 10 mark, I can get 5 more families into this. Oh, there's 6 now. Oh, I added that extra little bit. That was too much. Well, if we wait, I think we'll be good. All right, so that's going to get to work there. we could go ahead and draw a simple little road here. It's okay that we left a little bit of space. I'm not min-maxing. That's not the purpose of this game. Or at least not for me. Yeah, but if we could get some good fields rolling here, and it looks like the ladies are going to start coming out and helping. Well, thank you, ladies. I do appreciate that. And they're going to start sowing too. Well, that's awesome. I didn't expect that to happen. Well done, ladies. I applaud you. And we are going to go ahead and just run a line all the way through there. And I think a line all the way through here, just to signify that plot there. Very good, very good. Everything's running smoothly, and I'm really happy for it. All right, well, things are running smoothly. We got our fields, which are growing everything, mind you. Barley, emir, and flax, so that's awesome to see. But we've also got our windmill up and running, and I do believe we can now build our communal oven. Awesome. And instead of pumping more people from here, I'm actually going to go here to the windmill. Well, I guess we don't actually need that yet, not until harvest season. Which we obviously don't want to force a harvest where there is no need for an early harvest. But one thing we can also start pumping into is the industrial side. And we have a ton, and I mean a ton, of pelts. 119 pelts. So I feel like a tannery is very important, as it will also fulfill one of the clothing needs that our people need in order to level up. So I think it's a pretty huge deal that we get that up and running. While we wait for other things like the crop growth. It's July, so in autumn I think is when the sowing of the crops for next summer. And then we start really pushing things to their limit. Pantry level met. A communal oven, we don't need that at the moment, but we do need a tannery. So we're going to start working on a tannery. If we've got the timber for it, we might as well make some more plots. Bring in a few more people. It's obviously way too many people. We can do like 3. There we go. We'll get to work on those. We're going to make, yes, we're making lots of leather, which will of course get put into the clothing stall, which of course will satisfy the need, boom, of the people who are using it. Sweet. Now we need to put someone into the windmill. I'm actually going to drop berry production, so that way we can get everything stored away in its rightful place. We got a good number of wheat in, and now we got to do the same thing for flax. We got to do the same thing for barley, although there's not much I can do for those other things quite at the moment. I think it'd still be rather useful. All right, everything's been harvested, and they bring everything to the farm, which I think is really awesome. They're making a ton of grain from the wheat. They're threshing the grain, which I think is really cool. Is that not the coolest thing? I honestly had never made it this far, so I didn't know that was a thing. That is super cool. And then they are going to start bringing it to the windmill. Yep. And that's already starting to make flour. And we have people already there ready to start making and bacon, which I think is fantastic. When it comes to industry as well, we do have a brewery. Let's go ahead and let's focus on that. Definitely need to work on my layouts in the future. But we need a malt house on top of it. We need actually a malt house first. That's my bad. Yeah, look at that. They're making it. They're making it all. That bread will satiate people a lot. It should fulfill both of their food needs. Now the berries will do that too, for sure. But I think it's important to focus on the other things as well. Cool, my brewery's been finished, even though I meant to make a malt house first. You kind of need the malt house beforehand. And then we can also do a weaver's workshop, which turns flax into linen, which would satisfy the clothing need. So essentially, we are on our way to our level 2s. But we're not there yet. And we're not going to, because that is actually, ooh, a fire space. Well, our bakery went up in flames quite quickly. That's very unfortunate. And I think they're just going to rebuild it. It does look like they're just going to rebuild it. Very cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for this quick early look at Manor Lords. Like I said, this should go up probably before you're able to access it, but it will start access for the Manor Lords demo starting today, and will go through October 10th, giving you plenty of time to play. Guys, again, if you want to see an extensive look, you can head over to Twitch, where I will be streaming today, hopefully, fingers crossed, and we can start building a greater city together than we could ever before. If you don't see me today, you'll see me on Tuesday. Thank you guys for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to subscribe to this channel, turn on bell notifications, as Manor Lords will have some coverage this week. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next video.